YouTube has everything. So you just got Prison Architect and you have no clue what to do. You have $50,000 in your pocket and your first shipment of inmates is supposed to come within 24 hours. So how do we get things started? First of all, you might want to go ahead and hire yourself not guards, but riot guards. They only cost $100 and they're not cost effective, meaning that they won't cost you hourly rates as guards do. Guards actually cost you $100 per day, and they cost 500 just to start. But with actually a riot guard, they only cost $100, and they actually do not cost an hourly rate. So the next thing you would want to go ahead and do is plan. Plan is the most important thing in the game. If you do not plan, you actually ruin yourself and wasting a lot of money and resources for nothing. So at the end, you'll just be waiting for new inmates and new income while more inmates come in and cause more problems, and more problems cause to riots. So just to start yourself off, if you kind of like the design that I have here, you might want to go ahead and build yourself a 46 by 21 box. So like you said, plan yourself out a nice 46 by 21 and build yourself a foundation concrete. Next thing you might want to go ahead and do is use the materials, build yourself some concrete walls. After you actually made your first cells, which would probably cost you anywhere about $12,000 just for this whole thing right here. Once you get that going, most of your most of your inmates will be going into the holding cell. Once they cause little problems here and there, they'll eventually be put into cells, into which then you would have to start planning out how you're going to build or expand your prison to hold more inmates. So to get that thing going, you might want to go ahead and build yourself an office wing. Now, the way I built this was to put the offices in the back, just in case I would want to go ahead and plan out building a common room or a visiting room. But in this case, I'm just going to leave this empty. I built 4 offices over here, and I hired myself an accountant. To get that, you need to go through the bureaucracy and unlock the accountant. Once you wait at least 48 hours, I think, to unlock, you hire the accountant, and then you start planning your regime. Now, as what you might see here is that most of these inmates just end up dying, and as you can see on the top, all of them are actually going into the yard. So in the meantime you're making that money, I would suggest you actually get a tax relief. Now, most people won't think that this is such a good idea. I think that they're wrong, because they might say, well, you're not making $10,000 daily. Even so, you're not making $10,000 daily, you still get a tax cut. So you go from 30% to a good 15%, because as it says, it cuts your effective corporate tax rate to just 15%. So that's good. In the beginning, you're spending at least a good amount of approximately $4,000 in corporate tax. Depending on how many inmates you have in your prison, that's how much you spend in corporate tax for them. So it's best to get the corporate tax cut to a good 15%, because that means you're just paying a good $1,000, $900 to about $1,000 for those inmates. Once you have enough cash and you basically are ready to expand, you go ahead and make yourself a yard. Once you got a yard going, it's best to make a big enough yard so that way it would hold new inmates and uh, hold the ones that are been waiting in the holding cell for such a long time. Now you can actually plan out your regime to actually hold the inmates in the yard 24/7, but eventually you'll get bugs like this, and the inmates will go ahead and start punching the workers just to alleviate some issues, I guess. But your riot guards will actually protect the yard if you put them in there. And like I said, they're expendable, so you can always hire brand new ones for $100. It's not that expensive. After you got those things going, and if you want, you would want to get the offshore haven tax. It is the best. People might say again, it's not worth it because you're not making 10,000s daily. It doesn't matter. It will still cut your effective corporate tax to a good 1%. And I can tell you for a fact that the 1% is pretty much worth it. Because for the 34 inmates that I got, I'm only spending $36 on them. So I say it's pretty much worth it. After that, you can actually save up all your pennies in a bunch. And if you want, you can actually start building your proper wing and planning out your day, planning the rest of your prison. And once you have enough money like I do, you can actually make this dream happen. So again, if you guys get any questions or comments, do write them down below. Or if anything, catch me on my gaming channel. Links down below as well. So thanks again, YouTube, for watching. This has been the Prison Architect Tutorials.